So Billie Eilish thought she was making a bold point at the Grammys, but instead she might have started something she can't stop. Ratings dropped, comments went viral, and now she's being called out by crowds everywhere from Rodeo Drive to the beach. Add in the Tongva tribe speaking out about her Malibu home, and suddenly this isn't just internet drama anymore. Let's go through what happened, how Billie reacted when she faced real people instead of applause, and why her silence might be the loudest part of all this. Okay, so here's the thing. This Billie Eilish situation did not die down after the Grammys like people thought it would. It actually blew up even more. Within days of the 2026 Grammys airing, people were already calling the ratings a disaster, and clips of celebrity comments started spreading online in the worst way. Billie's stolen land remark didn't just start a debate. It set off a wave of anger that went way beyond social media. Now we're seeing reports of fans walking away, people in the music business stepping back, and Billie herself being confronted in public all over California. This video is about how we got here, what people are saying, and why this feels like a turning point for how people see her. What really set things off was how fast the talk shifted from award show chatter to real-life results. After the show aired, people started asking not just about what Billie said, but how it matched up with her own life. That's when the Tongva tribe stepped in, saying publicly that her Malibu mansion sits on land that belongs to their ancestors. Whether she meant to or not, that claim totally changed the story. Suddenly, this wasn't about a speech anymore. It was about being called a hypocrite, being held to account, and whether famous people should expect praise without any pushback. And here's where it gets messy. Instead of saying anything about it, Billie reportedly went silent. No statement, no explanation, no response at all, and while staying quiet can sometimes make a story go away, in this case, it seemed to do the opposite. In a short amount of time, she was spotted out in public several times, and each time things got more tense. People weren't just watching from behind a screen anymore. They were asking questions to her face, shouting comments, and wanting answers. What came next were moments that, depending on who you ask, looked like she was either dodging or panicking. And that reaction only made the whole thing worse, because once famous people leave the stage and the clapping stops, the real world hits different. And that's exactly where Billie found herself when the crowds didn't clap back. So, let's walk through what actually happened, because the order of events matters here. The 2026 Grammys aired on CBS, and right away people were upset about low ratings and too much political talk. Several performers made comments that split viewers down the middle, but Billie Eilish's remarks quickly became one of the most replayed clips online. Her comments about stolen land were taken by many as rude and meant to stir things up, especially when tied to the ongoing fights about immigration. The clip spread fast, and people reacted right away. Within days, the Tongva tribe came out publicly saying that Billie's Malibu property sits on land that matters deeply to their history. Now, to be clear, this was not a legal fight over who owns the land. It was a statement about culture and history. Still, it hit a nerve. People online started asking why Billie would talk so boldly about land issues while living on property tied to that very same topic. That question followed her everywhere she went. Based on several reports, Billie was then seen shopping on Rodeo Drive. This is where things changed. Photographers and people on the street started calling out questions, asking her directly about the Grammy speech and what the Tongva tribe said. Instead of answering, Billie reportedly kept her head down, walked fast, and went into store after store without saying a word. Later, when she came back out, people came up to her again and she put on sunglasses and a hat, telling her security team to move faster. Things got worse later that same day when she showed up near the El Capitan Entertainment Center. This time, crowds were reportedly shouting things about ICE and her Grammys comments. Billie didn't respond and was seen walking away quickly. At one point, she was said to have shouted a curse word toward the crowd. Whether it came from stress or anger, that moment became another viral clip, making it clear that things were only getting more heated. By the time she showed up near the Chinese theater, turning down autograph requests and walking in with security, it was obvious this wasn't a one-time thing. This was becoming a pattern, and people were starting to wonder why she wouldn't just say something. Now, this is where the internet really took over, because social media did what it always does and split into two sides right away. On one side, longtime fans said they were let down and felt like they were being talked down to and ignored. Some even said publicly that they were unfollowing Billie after years of support. These weren't casual listeners either. Many said they bought concert tickets, merch, and albums, and felt caught off guard by how the whole thing was handled. On the other side, people defending her said Billie didn't owe anyone answers while being swarmed in public. They pointed out that famous people get cornered all the time, and that expecting calm answers in wild situations isn't fair. Some also went after the crowds themselves, saying yelling at someone in the street crosses a line no matter what the argument is about. That back and forth only made the whole thing louder. Then there were the commentary channels and viral posts connecting the dots. People started pulling up old interviews, past statements about causes she supports, and earlier moments where Billie put herself out there as someone who cares about social issues. Whether fair or not, the story became that she could dish out strong opinions on a safe stage, but had a hard time when people pushed back without applause. That contrast became a repeating theme across every platform. Buzz from inside the music world added another layer. Based on unconfirmed reports, some people she works with quietly started pulling back, choosing not to be seen with her while the backlash kept going. Again, this hasn't been proven, but fans noticed fewer public hangouts, fewer shoutouts, and less visible support. When rumors started going around that she had lost roles in upcoming projects, including voice work with major studios, that talk only got louder. At this point, the question stopped being about the Grammys and became about taking responsibility, controlling your image, and whether the silence was a planned move or just being totally overwhelmed. To understand why this hit so hard, you have to look at how Billie Eilish has shown up in public over the years. She built a name for herself as someone who speaks her mind, shows her feelings, and doesn't hold back. Fans loved that honesty because it felt real. She was never seen as polished or distant, but as someone willing to say what she thinks, even if it made people uncomfortable. That raw honesty became a huge part of who she is to people. But being real cuts both ways. When someone speaks boldly, people expect them to stand behind those words when they get pushed back on. That's why what the Tongva tribe said mattered so much here. It wasn't just hate from random people online. It was a group with deep ties to the land and its history joining the conversation, which raised the stakes in a big way. Brushing off that kind of response doesn't look the same as brushing off internet trolls. There's also a bigger pattern here with award shows and political speeches. Viewers have been loud about feeling lectured during what's supposed to be entertainment. The Grammys ratings drop didn't happen out of nowhere, and Billie became one of the main faces of that frustration. Fair or not, she stood for what a lot of viewers were already fed up with. Now add real-world run-ins, angry crowds, and a refusal to explain anything, and suddenly the story shifts from artist to controversy. Fans who once felt close to her started wondering if she could handle pushback as easily as she handed out opinions. And when famous people hit that moment, how they respond usually decides what comes next in their career. So let's be real here. This whole situation didn't have to get this bad. One clear statement, some kind of response, or even a break with a reason why could have changed everything. Instead, what people saw was dodging, frustration, and silence, which let everyone else tell the story for her. Whether Billie meant for that to happen or not, how things look matters, especially when you're that famous. Right now, the real issue isn't what she said on stage. It's how she acted when people asked her real questions. Fans don't expect her to be perfect, but they do expect her to be consistent. If this is just a passing storm, her team will probably wait it out and hope people move on. If she talks about it in a thoughtful way, she could win people back. But if she keeps running from the conversation, the backlash could stick around way longer than anyone thought it would. What happens next depends on whether Billie picks speaking up or staying quiet. How people feel about someone can change fast, but silence leaves room for guessing. And once fans start walking away, getting them back takes time. This feels like one of those moments that shapes how she's seen going forward, not just as a musician, but as a public figure dealing with real questions in real time. Now, I want to know what you think. Did this blow up unfairly, or could she have handled it better? Let me know your take in the comments, and we'll keep watching how this all plays out.